Okay, so one of the cool things that I found, because we all know GitHub already, right? The open source where you put your whatever ego, I mean your code, right? So you put your code there and your ego aside from that. But there's this one provider called Stackblitz. I can zoom. Let me see if I can zoom it. Oh, no, it doesn't zoom in. Stack. So Stack as in the Stack Overflow, then Blitz with a Z. So what's good with that is it gives you a lot of template already that you can use. Let's say this is an Angular application that it's like CodePen. So CodePen is where you put HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you see an output right away, right? So it's the same thing as this one. So for this time around, I was studying my Angular again and trying to do piping transformation. As you can see, I can search, and what happens with this search is it only searches the personal file and activity. So it's like a filtered search. So even though, let's say, I try to search the name of, let's say, price, I would not be able to search that, or the name of hailing, I won't be able to search that as well. But if I search something with the personal file, let's say post, they should all appear here, and the column name would change to personal file or activity or whatever is available there. So let's say top, as you can see now, it changes to activity about Chicago, something like that. So it's not. This is not really to show you Angular. It's more like showing you, hey, there's this another cloud solution out there that you can host your project. So what's good with this, if you're newer to web development or whatever, usually what we do is we put our code to GitHub, and now we deploy it with AWS, Heroku, whatever, and we run into a lot of problems with the production, right? To just have the same environment. So that is a struggle for most developers, but with Stackblitz, you can just put your stuff there, and you can showcase that to your recruiter, like what Spencer shared with us. So I think like with this one, I can share this with, let's say, the app URL only. So they can see my project right away. Hey, it's something like that, right? See, that's something cool. It's like you can showcase your project right away without all the nitty-gritty of deploying. So that's one, Stackblitz. Definitely look that out, check that out, because I've seen some of my friends that have done that. Why is it good as well is anytime it has its own repository. Let's go to my username first. So here's the Stackblitz homepage. It does look like GitHub. If I go to my real GitHub, then repositories. I don't have that, but I can easily link that with connect repository. And let's say, oh, okay, never mind, just do that. And what's great with this, it now also adds to my GitHub repository. So go ahead.
What's the difference of this and GitHub?
So I don't know much about GitHub Pages, but with GitHub Pages, I think you can only do one. I don't know if it changed a lot already, but that was before when I knew it. But again, with Stackblitz, it's just easy to just manipulate code in each of your repository. Maybe if you can look it up, maybe GitHub Page allows you per repository. That's great as well, right? Another thing that I'd like to share about, because I started recording a lot of my sessions, like when I talk here and way before, and when I have online sessions. So I do have a YouTube account and channel that I do all sorts of stuff tech related. So you can see Clark Tech Speak is basically everything that I talked about in the SSC, or I mean in this club meeting before. So I talked with AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. I don't know if I talked about Azure. So those kind of stuff. I started doing some mini Angular tutorials as well. Haven't finished that. All my sessions with TypeScript. The full stack one doesn't have voice. I was just going through them. And some lectures and some walkthroughs. So just find me in YouTube and it might help you as well. And then going back, because Spencer was talking about LinkedIn, what's going to be helpful with us, aside from team suggestion that we, yes, do endorse everyone with our skills, is anytime there's like someone posting, do interact with them, with a recruiter or with someone that you follow or your classmate. Put a like, make a comment, or when you go to a meetup, for example, I went to this meeting, found Spencer interesting, I just post something like this, right? So now I'm promoting him, I'm also promoting our school, because again, one of my goals for this school is when we go out there and they say, hey, what's your school? City University of Seattle. And they say, oh, I know that school, that's a tech school. So I want that branding so that it's easier for us as well. So hopefully we try to brand ourselves as, hey, we're a tech school, we're a tech school. And definitely they're gonna believe us because we do have talent here. It's just that they don't know us here, right? With Free Code Camp, I stopped just because, I don't know, I got lazy, had less time. And I'm now planning to do more technical blog, but not yet. But as you can see, I have a lot of like self-help or mini tech blogs. So using Google Sheets as a JSON endpoint, this is a good article. Let's say you're doing a hackathon or a collaboration. You have someone who's non-tech, but wants to help with your development. Sure, you can say, oh, just do Google Sheets, put data there, and then connect that endpoint as the back end, and then that'll do away with your front end. So now you can collaborate with non-tech students as well, which is pretty cool. You can check about why I abandoned MBA to get my computer science. It's my life story. It's also branding about CDU and myself. How to teach yourself to learn again. For those who are coming new and studying again, I had to go through the pain of I have to read books and I understand, but it doesn't retain, right? And then that's where I try to buy books, buy podcasts, watch videos, and make sure everything tech is integrated in my life. So if I'm relaxing, I find a technology meme, something funny. If I don't understand it, I have to study more, okay? Another thing, when I go commute, going home, I would read a book. If I'm too tired, I might read from a Kindle or read from my cell phone. If I'm still too tired, maybe watch a video. If I can't watch a video, I listen to a podcast. So now, going with that, for those who are interested in web development, like some people, like Wes Boss is a really, really talented guy. I think he started developing when he was 14 years old. So check out his content. So, oops, something popped up. And then web development. So I usually listen to podcasts either to be updated of what's happening. There's tons of it. I would start with, I think Syntax is very cool because Wes Boss and Scott Talinsky has a really engaging way to talk about stuff. If you're checking more about the Changelog podcast, this is very interesting. If you're dealing with a lot of open source and you want to know, oh, what's happening in this version? What's happening in this version? So this big Changelog podcast deals with that. And they have a lot of spin-off from that Changelog podcast. Another podcast that I strongly recommend for those new people in tech is basically the Code Newbie podcast, especially for those learning algorithms and data structures, because not this one, I think Base CS podcast. So Code Newbie podcast would showcase a lot of people from different walks of life transitioning to tech. If that's something that relates to you, very good, so that you don't feel demotivated. So Base CS podcast, it's really good. You're listening to algorithms in a light-hearted way, explained in easy way, and it's in your podcast. So you can just close your eyes and listen to this nice podcast. Aside from that, what else? Any resources you guys also use or podcasts that you listen to or YouTube?
I can share.
Oh, good.
So there's a
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's a YouTube channel that guy like
inviting machine learning big names to this channel and interview them.
Let's search it for so that everyone can see what's the.
I don't recall the channel.
Oh, okay.
Do you know like any similar channel?
Because I'm not really in the machine learning track, so I don't quite sure. But how about you, Aaron?
I like to use the Libby app, which just has audiobooks. There's an audiobook by Jerry Kaplan called Humans Need Not Apply, which talks in depth about AI and learning. There's several, another book that I recently read, they're also be by Mark Goodman. It's called Future Crimes, and this discusses how machine learning and AI can be used to manipulate freely access third-party information for any sort of project possible.
Yeah, so I do remember in cybersecurity, I think Darknet Diaries. I think it's a pretty popular podcast. Oh yes, people nodding, both people in the red. So sure, good. For me, for people that I subscribe to, when I was starting, Eli, the computer guy, was super helpful. He's super great at explaining networking stuff, whatever stuff, those kind of stuff. And interviewing.io, it's cool. It's also a anonymous interviewing site. But what's good with this, interviewing.io started sharing their videos of anonymous interview coding sessions. So you can just listen to now like what's happening like in a mock interview definitely. What else? Let's see. PowerCert Animated. This has very short videos, but what I like about them most is they animate stuff so that when you're trying to learn about servers, networking, those kind of stuff, it's so easy because you see things blinking. For example, let's see if this one's blinking. See, that's what's nice about it. It shows you how it's connected. And as you can see, I don't have advertisement. I have YouTube subscription. It's definitely a big help for the quality of life. When you're always on YouTube, you don't have ads. What else? What? Tree, brown, one, loop. What's that one?
Blue.
Blue.
Oh, it's actually 3 blue, 1 brown.
Oh, see, this one looks good as well because I think it has some visualizations here. Awesome. I've never seen equations and videos like this.
And he explains things very well. I think it's like one of those ways.
I agree with you. This person's video is really awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He explains very complex things.
Deeply.
Oh, I see. That's cute. But the pie has eyes. Yeah. So 2 recommendations. So have to believe it, guys. More than one is many. What else? Oh, this is a very cool one. If you're saying something that can explain something real well, this guy can explain something real well and really fun. So he's really good at explaining stuff. So if you're, I think he deals more about JavaScript stuff. And yeah, funny, but you really learn a lot for sure. What else? Let's see. Yeah, I've tried to remove a lot of my subscriptions already, but I still have a lot of it, unfortunately. What? Risky business. Podcast? Let me just turn off some of my tabs. I'm running out of battery. Okay, this one? So another suggestion by our members, Taisu Risky Biz podcast. So nice listening to podcasts because it's something that you learn and you can now have a discussion with your friends or whatever, right? Anything else that let's see. Oh, computer file, yes. That person who has his face always in the thumbnail. But he is good. He sometimes writes in his notebook, right? Or, yeah. So computer file as well. I think it mainly deals with cybersecurity or anything in general. All branches. Okay. Aaron.
So you're essentially a content creator or an influencer, but instead of fashion, you do it for computer science.
Yeah, you can think something like that. I never thought it that way, but sure. Go ahead.
Do you use any marketing suites to make sure that you can post to all of your platforms at once?
No, I just, again, for me, my vision is I just want to put out content. Why? Because I want to know people that I do something. It might not be perfect, but I'll just go ahead and put out content. So go ahead.
Do you put all your content out across all your different platform profiles?
So I don't really share my content. That's the thing. So I post stuff on YouTube, but I don't really share it anywhere else because I don't really care about like, oh, I want more views. It's more like if people stumbled upon me, sure, it's great. But I don't like put it on your face, something like that. Go ahead.
Would you like, so if you had more views and you received more criticism, do you think that would increase your education?
Yeah, you have a point, for sure, yeah. You have a point. But I'm still not yet in that content creator that's very, I mean, I don't have time to make a video that's good for criticism as well. So, because again, most of my videos would be like, maybe there's nothing to do. Okay, I'll do this angular while I'll talk. There's no really editing or something. Oh, I'm talking today, I'll post this and just edit the talking parts. That's it. There's no filter, no. I mean, it takes time to edit those stuff as well, right? But again, for me, content is still content. But I know already like some like, oh, I know I messed up with this point. Oh, I should have read more. Oh, I did not see that coming. Things like that, right? Like as I go on, I figure out stuff like, oh, like my very first video. As you can see, my very first video was about Kanban. And it was just spontaneous coming up here in the club meeting and talked about 2 minutes about Kanban. But what I literally talk about is just, hey, there's a bunch of cards and there's work in progress. And I did not say anything else. But we move on and just, no, this is not my video stuff. Let's see. Yeah, so even like, there are times like, oh, I'm doing algorithm challenge. Why not try to explain it my own way, right? That's it. Let's see. List of all the uploads. Oh no. Oh, yes. Oh, also before I also push content, recording invited talks, and also push content from the members who are speaking in the club meetings, just so I have, like Kim is here, Happy Watt is here. Yeah. Arduino, DJ stuff. Oh, there's the Kanban thing. Look how awful the video content is. It's that. I'm just talking. You can't even see the screen, but I just talk.
Progress now.
And that's 2018. Yep. Now, because of Happy Watt, thank you, I do have a better audio recorder because he gave me like a microphone. So at least now my audio is better whenever I'm recording. So again, just to end my whatever speech this is, if you have something, just push it out, and then what Aaron is saying is totally makes sense. Push it out, get some criticism, improve yourself, right? Okay, I think that's it.